Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? I'm asking you, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Wow.
Okay, welcome you all for today's class. Let us start the actual process, conventional machining process. We have several processes in the syllabus. Let us deal these processes one after other. The first process, as per the syllabus in Unit 1, is USM, that is ultrasonic machining. Abbreviation is USM, ultrasonic machining. వినపడుతుందా నా మాట? Ultrasonic machining. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sir, will be sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, let us proceed with this topic. The topics in this or the syllabus in this ultrasonic machining is elements of the process, mechanics of the metal removal rate process parameters, economic considerations, applications, and limitations. These are the topics in this topic, that is ultrasonic machining, present in the syllabus. Let us see these things one after the other. So what is this ultrasonic machining? This comes under a mechanical process as per the classification that is shown to you earlier. It is a process basically in which the material is removed due to the action of abrasive grains, like your grinding. You know the grinding wheel and the grinding process. So the grinding wheel is made with abrasive grains like aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, etc. These are the popular two abrasive particles or abrasive grains normally we use in grinding. The same kind of abrasive grains will be used even in ultrasonic machining. Popular are again Al2O3, that is aluminum oxide, and SiC, that is silicon carbide. These are the two major Al2O3. This is aluminum oxide, first abrasive grain. Second type is SiC, silicon carbide. These are the two popular abrasive grains normally used in grinding as well as even in ultrasonic machining. Concept of how this metal removal takes place and what is the concept behind this. Let us try to understand that. In the previous, after the previous class, I shared a video to you. I don't know how many of you have gone through that. You should have got an idea after seeing that video. That video clearly explained the mechanism, the various parts present in that, and how actually the movement of the abrasive grains takes place, what is the role of each part in that, the process parameters, as well as the advantages, limitations, applications. All these things are given through that video. Have you seen that video? Use your chat box and reply me. Have you gone through that? If you have seen that, say yes. I hope everyone sees these materials or videos that are shared to you. In online, actually, you have that advantage of seeing these things visually compared to the physical class or compared to the board. Have you gone through that video? Have you seen that? Give me a reply using your chat box. Have you seen the video?
No, sir.
Why? It is given in your group. Why you have not seen the video? What is the problem? It is shown in your group after the class. Why it is not seen? What is the reason? Are you not seeing the group material, group messages?
Seen, sir.
Chusara video? Chusara? If possible, see, I cannot run the video in an online class, Zoom class, because it consumes a lot of data. That is why I have shared a WhatsApp video so that you can see it. Hope you all have gone through that. Let me try to share you again that video. Again. This is a big issue. This is a big problem. If you don't see the material, if you don't understand, or if you don't see the video, there is no use of sharing that. The purpose of sharing the video is that I expect all of you to view that. Okay, anyhow, I cannot share the video in the class because
Okay, sir. We'll watch after the class, sir.
so group లో ఉంది మళ్ళీ చూడండి చూడకపోతే okay this screenshot again I am sharing to on the screen. This is the actual setup of the ultrasonic machine. All the parts are shown here. So different textbooks show different things as far as the parts are concerned. But basically, these are the parts that are available in the ultrasonic machine process. So the concept is the abrasive particles are the abrasive particles, that is silicon carbide and aluminum oxide. They are driven into the work surface. They are actually driven into the work surface. So through this nozzle, you can see the nozzle here. This is through this nozzle with high velocity, the abrasive particles are impinged or driven into the contact of the work surface by a tool. This is the tool. This is the tool. So this tool, this is actually the tool holder, and you can see the bottom part. This is the actual tool. So this tool has a shape. You can see the workpiece. This is the workpiece. Workpiece is just replica of your tool. The same shape is seen on the workpiece also. So contour of the workpiece can be seen here. So the workpiece can be seen with the same contour or with the same geometry that is provided on the tool. So through this nozzle, the abrasive particles are pumped through this reservoir. This reservoir consists of abrasive slurry, and there is a pump which pumps these abrasive particles through this nozzle. So what is basically the concept is the abrasive particles are driven into the work surface by a tool. This tool oscillates. Actually, this tool is in oscillating motion. You know the oscillating motion. This is normal to the work surface. That is perpendicular to the work surface at a very high frequency. So this oscillates. This oscillating movement will be there. Up and down movement also will be there for the tool. So the tool is made of soft material, which is oscillated at frequencies of the order of 20 to 30 kHz. 20 to 30 kHz. So that is the normal range of this oscillation, with the amplitude of about this amplitude. This amplitude is with around 0.02 mm. 0.02 mm is the amplitude. It is pressed against the workpiece actually with a load of few kgs and fed towards the workpiece continuously as the cavity is cut onto the or in the workpiece. Again, I repeat the sentence. I hope you can see this sentence. The abrasive particles are driven into the work surface. The abrasive particles are driven into the work surface by a tool. This is the tool. By a tool which has an oscillating normal to the work surface at a high frequency. The tool is made of soft material, oscillated at the frequencies of the order of 20 to 30 kHz, with an amplitude of about 0.02 mm. It is pressed against the workpiece with a load of few kgs and fed downwards continuously as the cavity is cut into the workpiece. The tool is shaped. The tool is shaped. You can see the tool shape. The tool is shaped as the approximate mirror image of the configuration of the cavity desired in the workpiece. This is what I explained to you. So the workpiece cavity and the tool cavity almost looks like same. The acoustic head consists of a high frequency generator. This is the high frequency generator. This acoustic head consists of a high frequency generator. A magnetic a transducer. This is the transducer. Magneto stick to transducer. Magneto stick to transducer, which converts mechanical motion into high vibration. This converts mechanical motion into high vibration, and that transmits to the tool. This is called this portion of the tool is called horn. HORN. This is called horn, which converts mechanical motion into high vibration and transmits it to the tool. The counterweight with rope and pulley arrangement provides the feed mechanism, which is shown in the previous figure in the last class. The counterweight with rope and pulley arrangement provides the feed mechanism and is designed to apply the working force during machining. Designed to provide the working force during the machining process. So, what are the tool materials that are used here? Normally, the tool materials normally used are soft materials like brass or mild steel, MS. These are the two popular tool materials normally used for the tool, which are soft in nature. As far as the workpiece materials are concerned, hard and bit. Actually, the USM process is more suitable for hot and brittle materials. Hot and brittle materials. Like ceramics. Like ceramics, glass, and semiconductors. Semiconductors. These are the types of the material, workpiece materials like hard materials, brittle materials like semiconductors, glass, ceramics, etc. Normally used for the workpiece. And process parameters. What are the process parameters that decides the working or metal removal? First parameter is frequency that decides the metal removal. Second, amplitude. I told you the range of the frequency, that is 20 to 30 kHz. Amplitude is up to 0.02 mm. Next, grain size. Actually, the grain size is in the range of 100 to 800 grid size. 100 to 800. What are the types of next parameter is the slurry, that is abrasive slurry concentration, slurry concentration, and the feed force. This feed force. All these parameters. Again, I am repeating the process parameters. First one is frequency, that is 20 to 30 kHz. Amplitude, that is up to 0.02 mm. Next, grain size, that is in between 100 to 800, depends on roughing or finishing. Lower size indicates rough grain. Higher size indicates finer grit or finer grain. Slurry concentration and feed force. These are the parameters that decides the process, and that actually decides the MRR, that is metal removal rate. So what is the material that is removed? How the material is removed? So the material is removed in form of fracture of work material due to impact of grains. The grains gets impact with the workpiece, the impact force. Impact of grains will cause the metal removal. And what are the various abrasives that are used? Aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, and the third one is boron carbide. Boron carbide. This is the third abrasive. Aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, and boron carbide. What is the next thing that we have to understand, remember is the gap. So there should be some gap between the workpiece material and tool material. This gap will be in the range of 0.2 to 0.5 mm will be the gap between the. It is not in direct contact with the workpiece. This you have to observe. There is a gap between the tool and the workpiece. Through that gap, through a nozzle, the abrasive particles in form of slurry, that is liquid, will be pumped, and that will be forced to in between the gap between the tool and the workpiece. The tool oscillates, the tool has vibrating motion, and it impacts the abrasive grains, and the abrasive grains removes the material from the workpiece. That is the actual concept. So in video it is clearly explained, and the motion is animation is also shown in the video. So before I proceed to the actual advantages and limitations of this process, this is a noiseless operation. There is no noise in this, and this is for low metal removal cost. This is the best suitable process. Low metal removal cost. And extremely hard and brittle materials can be easily machined with this process, like glass, ceramics, etc. And operation of the equipment is quite safe. And even a low skilled operator can operate, or a medium skilled operator. No skill is required to operate this. And another advantage is highly accurate profiles. The accurate geometry and accurate profiles like drilling holes, engraving, or coin engraving, plastic engraving, fine geometry in the plastic or in the ceramics like tiles, etc. These kind of things can be done very easily on this. And highly accurate profiles and good surface finish can be obtained. And because there is no heat generation in the process, the physical properties of the work materials remain unchanged. This is major advantage. Because there is no wear and tear, there is no friction, no heat generation is there. And due to no heat generation, the physical properties of the work material remains unchanged. The machined workpieces are free of the stresses. Residual stresses are not there, like in conventional machining. It has some disadvantages also, like tool cost is high, metal removal rate is very low, size of the cavity can be machined is limited, higher power consumption, initial equipment cost is high than the conventional machine tools. The process is not suitable for large metal removal or heavy metal removals. For maintaining efficient cutting action, the slurry to be replaced periodically. It is difficult to machine soft materials. These are some of the disadvantages. Applications, major applications, several machining operations like turning, threading, grinding, milling with finer surface finishes can be obtained with finer geometry. Machining of hard and brittle materials can be easily done. Dental, that is the dentist, also uses this kind of process to drill fine holes of the desired shape in the teeth, because teeth is a hard material and brittle material and it is a ceramic. So like your conventional ceramics, even in the teeth also, to drill a deep hole, it is very difficult. So USM process is best suitable for that. And also like to make tools and dies of special wire drawing machines, extrusion dies. For this kind of things also we use this kind of process. Let me explain you these things in a systematic manner. This is the general view. I think you got an idea. Again, I will repeat this. Tool materials are brass and mild steel. Workpiece materials are hard and brittle materials like semiconductors, glass, ceramics, etc. Process parameters influences metal removal is frequency, amplitude, grain size, slurry, feed force. Abrasive particles used are aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, boron carbide. Grain size normally used are with a mesh size of 100 to 800. Now let me actually present you the actual depth of the presentation on this US ultrasonic machine. This is a general idea, general understanding. But let me give you the in-depth knowledge of this ultrasonic machining. వినపడుతుందా నేను చెప్పేది?
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Okay, if you see the history of this ultrasonic machining, you can see on the slide. This is one of the first applications for ultrasonic was sonar. Then sonar means it is the acronym for sound navigation ramming. It was employed on a large scale by the US Navy during World War II to detect the enemy submarines. And the frequency values up to 1 GHz, 1 gigahertz, 1 GHz. 1 GHz means 1 billion cycles per second. This have been used in the ultrasonic industry. Today, ultrasonic applications include medical applications, like as I told, the dental work, imaging of unborn fetus. So the baby before birth, the unborn fetus can be scanned, and the baby health condition, the baby physical position, all these things in the fetus can be reviewed by the doctor using the scanning, ultra scanning. The testing of this is the major application. And another application is testing for crack in the aerospace application. In the aeroplane construction, we can test the cracks of the aerospace applications. And actually, the research, when you go to the back of the research, the piezoelectric effect conducted by Pierre Curie around 1880 is the origin for this ultrasonic process. He found that asymmetrical crystals such as quartz and Rochelli salt. Rochelli salt means potassium sodium titrate. It generates an electric charge when mechanical pressure is applied. That is the background history. So mechanical vibrations are obtained by applying electrical oscillations to the same crystals. So what is an ultrasonic wave? Ultrasonic waves are sound waves of frequency higher than 20,000 Hz. Ultrasonic wave is nothing but the sound waves with a frequency higher than 20,000 Hz is called ultrasonic wave. Ultrasonic waves can be generated using mechanical, electromagnetic and thermal energy sources. Mechanical, electromagnetic and thermal energy sources. So they can be produced in gases also, including air, liquids and solids. So this table gives you the idea, the frequency ranges. So when the frequency of the sound, spectrum of the sound is between 0 to 20, that is called infrasound. So this infrasound example is earthquake. When the frequency of the sound is in the range of 20 to 20,000 Hz, it is audible sound. It is an audible sound. Example, speech, music, etc. So if it is more than 20,000, this is our interest. If it is more than 20,000 Hz, that's why the range is 20 kilohertz to 30 kilohertz. Kilohertz, 20,000, more than 20,000 Hz. Or you can call it as 20 kHz or 30, ranges up to 30. So if it is more than 20,000 Hz, it is called ultrasound. This is important. So example is bat, quartz, crystal, etc. These are all the examples of ultrasound. Now, let us see this thing first. What is piezoelectric? Piezoelectric transducers, what they do? Piezoelectric transducers employ the inverse piezoelectric effect using natural or synthetic single crystals, such as quartz or ceramic, such as barium titanate, which have strong piezoelectric behavior. Ceramics have the advantage over crystals in that they are easier to shape by casting, pressing, and extruding. This is the actual principle. You can see the principle here. In the process of ultrasonic machining, material is removed by microchipping or erosion. Microchipping or erosion, or with the abrasive particles. You can see here. Abrasive slurry is pumped and with microchipping means small amount of particles is called microchipping, or erosion. Erosion means rubbing like action. that causes the metal removal actually with impact force. So in USM process, the tool made of softer materials, as I told, like brass, mild steel, etc. Then the workpiece is oscillated by the booster and sonotrode at a frequency of about 20 Hz with an amplitude of about 25.4 micrometers, or you can say up to 0.02 mm, roughly in mm. Micron means 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3, 1 micron. That is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 means 0.0001 mm. The tool forces the abrasive grades in the gap between the tool and the workpiece to impact normally and successfully on the work surface, thereby machining the work surface. You can see this is the normal perpendicular. The abrasive particles are impinged. So the gap between the tool and the workpiece, this is the sonotrode, that is the amplitude. And you can see the workpiece here. You can see the tool here. And in between the gap is 0.2 to 0.5 mm. Within that gap, the abrasive slurry is forced with the help of a pump, and the metal is removed with impact normally and successfully on the work surface, thereby machining the work surface in form of microchipping or erosion. Actual metal removal takes place. So you can see this figure. This describes you this gives you more idea. The close view of your tool, workpiece, and abrasive slurry. So the abrasive slurry. So you can see the abrasive slurry. This is the motion normal. This is the backup material which supports the workpiece with the help of a wax weld. This is a shaped tool, shaped like your workpiece contour. And this is silver brazed to the tool holder. This is the tool holder. This is the amplifying tool holder. And this is the ultrasonic vibration caused by the transducer. This is the copper washer. This is the transducer nose. This is the section line which causes the frequency with the help of the counterweight and feed motion. This is the acoustic head, and this is called horn, H-O-R-N. This portion is called horn. So the machine looks like this. You have computerized machines nowadays for this ultrasonic machining. The machine setup and the machine looks like this, the picture. This is another view of the machine, actual metal removal. This is, you can see the principle here. This is the high frequency source. This is the high frequency source. This is the standard mechanism used in most of the universal ultrasonic machines. This is transducer, tool, nozzle, which pumps the abrasive slurry. This is the abrasive slurry that is pumped through the nozzle, and this is the workpiece. This is the oscillating motion of the tool. The tool actually looks like flat, but it will have a contour, and the workpiece also will have the similar contour shape required according to the geometry, metal removal. The actual geometry is cut on the tool as well as on the workpiece. on the workpiece, the same contour is reproduced. So if you look at the principle, during the stroke, the tool moves down. The tool moves down from its most upper remote position with a starting speed. You can see here. The tool moves down. The tool moves down from its most upper remote position with a starting speed at 0. The starting speed at 0, then it speeds up and finally reach the maximum speed. The maximum speed is at its mean position. Then the tool slows down its speed and eventually reaches the 0 again at its lowest position. This is the lowest position. So again I am repeating this sentence. At the lowest position the speed is again 0. At the highest position it is 0. At the mean position the speed is at its maximum. So why this variation is there? When the grid size is close to the mean position, when the grid size is close to the mean position, the tool hits the grid. The tool hits the grid with full speed. Grid means abrasive grain. The smaller the grid size, the lesser the momentum it receives from the tool. Therefore, there is an effective speed zone for the tool and correspondingly there is an effective size range for the grid. Effective size range for the grid. So in the machining process, the tool at some point impacts on the larger grids which are forced into the tool and the workpiece. As the tool continues to move downwards, the force acting on this grid, that is grain, small grain particle, increases rapidly. Therefore, some of the grids may be fractured. As the tool moves further down, more grids with smaller size comes in contact with the tool. The force acting on each grid becomes less. Eventually, the tool comes to the end of its stroke, lowest point. The number of grids under impact force from both the tool and the workpiece becomes maximum at this position. Grids with size larger than the maximum gap will penetrate into the tool and work surface to different extents according to their diameters and hardness of both surfaces. So these are some of the pictures, actual workpiece made with USM process. The first picture, it shows that the left one is a plastic sample that has inner grooves that are machined using ultrasonic machining. The second picture that is in the middle is a plastic sample which is made with the complex details on the surface by USM process. And the third picture, it is a coin with the grooving. You can see the grooving, fine grooving done by ultrasonic machining process. So what is the piezoelectric transducer purpose? The piezoelectric transducer utilizes the crystals like quartz whose dimensions alter when being subjected to electrostatic fields. The charge is directly proportional to the applied voltage. To obtain high amplitude vibrations, the length of the crystal must be matched to the frequency of the generator, which produce resonant conditions. So you can see this picture. Piezoelectric transducer. The piezoelectric materials are lead, zirconate formed into disc. D is the transducer diameter. You can see here, application of the voltage causes the crystal to vibrate at 2 to 10 MHz. What is the abrasive slurry? The abrasive slurry, it contains fine abrasive grains made with either aluminum oxide or silicon carbide or boron carbide. The grains are usually that is explained here, ranging in grain size from 100 rough size is Rough size is 100. Rough size is lower size indicates rough grain size. Higher indicates finer grain size. That means smaller grain size. 1000 used for finishing process. So this is used to microchip. Microchipping is the actual mechanism. Microchipping means small fine particles are removed from the workpiece. That is called microchipping. Or eroding. Eroding means rubbing the workpiece surface, and it also used to carry debris. Debris means the removed material or removed particles or loose particles removed from the workpiece after cutting, away from the cutting area. So the slurry is used to carry the debris also after the cutting action is over. So what is tool holder? Tool holder means the shape of the tool holder is cylindrical or conical. The shape of the tool holder is cylindrical or conical or a modified cone which helps in magnifying the tool tip vibrations. In order to reduce the fatigue failures, it should be free from nicks, scratches, and tool marks and polished smooth. This is the description of the tool holder. Next, tool. Tool holder consists tool. So the tool is made with soft materials, tough materials, and ductile materials. Low carbon steel, stainless steels give good performance. Tools usually are with 25 mm long. Its size is equal to the hole size minus twice the size of the abrasive. This is important. The size of the tool is equal to the hole size to be made minus twice the size of the abrasives. Mass of the tool should be minimum possible so that it does not absorb the ultrasonic energy. Materials that can be removed with USM process. Hard materials like stainless steel, glass, ceramics, carbide, brittle materials, quartz, semiconductor, brittle materials, glass can be made. It has been efficiently applied to machine glass, ceramics, precious mineral stones, tungsten, etc. Applications. It is mainly used for drilling, grinding, profiling, coining, piercing of dies, welding operations on all materials which can be treated suitably by abrasives. You can see the machine. It's a 4-axis CNC drill hole as small as 0.01 inch multi-sided holes, multiple hole and slot patterns, and many other complicated irregular shapes can be done using ultrasonic machines. It works on hard brittle materials such as ceramic and glass with precision up to, you can see the precision, how much precision it is, up to 0.0005 inch. 0005 inch, that is the precision, dimensional accuracy. Limitations. Under ideal conditions, penetration rates of 5 mm per minute can be obtained. Power units are usually 500 to 1000 watt output. Specific material removal rate on brittle materials is 0.018 mm cubic per joule. Normal hole tolerances are 0.007 mm and a surface finish of 0.02 to 0.7 micrometers. These are the limitations. Advantages. Machining any materials regardless of their conductivity. USM applied to machining semiconductors such as silicon, germanium, etc. USM is suitable to precise machining brittle material. USM does not produce electric, thermal, chemical abnormal surface. It can drill circular or non-circular holes in very hard materials. Less stress because of non-thermal characteristics. Disadvantages. USM has low metal removal rate. Tool wear is fast. Machining area and depth is restrained in USM process. Safety precautions. The worker should wear eye goggles to prevent the abrasive particles or the microchips from getting into his eye. So these are the details of ultrasonic machining process. I will discuss the metal removal rate, the parameters, etc. in tomorrow's class. The major part of the syllabus of USM is completed today. We have discussed the elements of the process, the mechanic of the mechanism of the metal removal, and the applications of the USM process, the limitations of the USM process, the advantages, disadvantages. All these points were discussed in today's class. So after the class is over, now again I will share you the video as well as the PPT of today's class. I advise all of you to see the videos or the materials that are shared to the group as and when they are shared. There is no meaning when you don't see them. The purpose of sharing those things are so that you can see them. So I hope next time you will not miss the videos or PPTs. It hardly takes 10 to 15 minutes after the class, and that helps you to review the class when you see the video or the PPT or the material that is shared to the group. So hope I am clear on this. Use them. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Hello? If you have any doubts, you can ask. Tomorrow I will complete this USM process. Any doubts? Are you there in the class? No sound, no reaction. Are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts in today's class?
No, sir.
Any doubts in today's class?
Let's sir. Doubts, sir.
Okay. Is it clear? Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
will show you the. I will share the PPT. I will share the PPT and video again to the group. Advise all of you to go through that and try to understand it. It helps you as a review or a reading practice. You can refer any of the standard textbooks. You can read from the textbooks, or you can depend on the material that is shared to you. You can practice the figures. My advice to all of you is to practice the figures as much as possible. Have all the figures in your hand. You should be in a position to draw any figure neatly at any point of time, so that 50% of the marks are in your hands. Remaining 50%, just you can explain the parts, you can explain the mechanism, you can explain the principle, you can explain the process parameters, or you can explain the advantages, the disadvantages, limitations, applications. All these things carry 50% only. 50% is for figure. Balance 50% is for the rest. That is the main point that has to be observed when you are studying any production related subjects or manufacturing technology related subjects. So hope I'm clear on this. I will wind up the class. It's already 12:01. One of you will share the attendance after the class to the group, not to me personally. Don't share me personally. Share to the group whatever you want to share. Discuss whatever you want to discuss in the group itself. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will wind up the class. Thank you for joining the class. Have a good day and be safe at your home. Don't roam on the roads without proper safety. Always wear masks. Life is so important and so precious. We cannot afford to take unnecessary risk on the life. Anything, a friend or enjoyment or a picture or a game, it is anything is after the life only. When we have the life, we can have all these things. Otherwise, no use. Some people have a general idea that in this age group nothing happens. You don't get the disease, the corona. But it is not true. You may not be affected, but the people surrounded you, like your parents or grandparents, will definitely be affected when some of you are affected, because you are the silent carriers and you are the major carriers of the disease. Generally, the elder people will take all the precautions, like wearing masks or sanitizer, or keeping away from the crowd, maintaining the distance. All these things they will do anyhow. But because you don't maintain them, you easily pick up the virus, and that will be there in you, and you transmit that virus to the elder people, and they suffer. Whether you suffer or your family members suffer, the impact is on the family. That is why take care, not only your family, all the members of the society, anybody, even a stranger. Everyone's life is important, and we should not make others to suffer because of our arrogancy, or because of our innocence, or because of our laziness. We should not make others to suffer. We have no right to make others to suffer because of our indecent behavior. This point we have to keep it in our mind. Hope I am clear on my advice. So be safe, be at home, don't unnecessarily move. So we also are in our rooms only. నా రూమ్ లోంచి నేను చెప్తున్నా క్లాస్. సో వీఆర్ నాట్ మూవింగ్ ఈవెన్ వీఆర్ ఇన్ కాలేజ్. ఓకే.
Okay, sir.
So the second wave is already started. You are not eligible for vaccination. It takes some time to get the vaccine for you. So till that time, be safe, hold your life, hold your family members' life also in safe. So thanks for listening to me patiently. Hope you all understand what I'm saying. So thank you for joining the class. Let us end the class. Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you, sir.
good day. Have a good day. Okay.